Good evening, or well, good early AM. T-Speaker 222 with the ISO headquarters. It's 12:44 AM on the East Coast in the United States of America in the great state of Michigan. I wanted to read this. Buckle up now. ISO-20022 is set to be a bumpy ride, but first, make sure that like button, turn that bell notification to all. And if you're considering joining the channel, we just went over 600 subscribers. I can't even. I'm ecstatic. I can't believe that. I know it's been a little sporadic with the updates lately. As you know, my Julie had surgery last Monday. And, transition. It was reconstructive, yada, yada, yada. But anyhow, before we get into that article, I want to do a little bit of technical analysis here. I want to do Dogecoin. Right now, we're at a support level of 1744. I'm not sure it's going to hold. We have below this 1610. If we can manage to rise back up and try to go back up to the 30-minute time frame, we got 1872 up there. Or not 1872, I apologize. I hit that before I hit start. 1831 is our resistance in this zone. It's in the 30-minute time frame. We got to get above that to try to make some kind of push. It's not looking too good right now for Doge. Looks like we might come back down to 1610 at minimum. I still think Doge, in the long grand scheme, we have to come down and double bottom at 1306. It seems like that's what it's trying to do. But we've got to watch and play these levels. So that's what I'm looking at with Doge. I really am. So if you're a fan of Doge, just remember we got resistance right now in the 30-minute time frame. I'll bring it back into the smaller time frame so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about. At 1831, we've got support right now at 1744, which is in danger of falling through. But I think what Doge is setting up to do here, we got a little inverted head, inverted shoulder. I think we could come up here and then get rejected. So that's something we're gonna have to watch out for. Is it guaranteed? No. This could literally fall through and then probably go like this and then maybe bounce up and then try to do that if we were gonna make our way through. But that's a long ways away, and that can turn into some kind of inverted pattern there. So just watch that for Doge. I love to do SHIBA. Excuse me. I love doing SHIBA updates and Doge. So I'm going to start to become, more consistent in the technical analysis on the ISO channel once again. I also like to do articles on this station. It tickles my fancy. So just make sure that you guys are checking out my other stations as well. My ISO headquarters is right here, as you guys know. But I also do a Swing Traders Anonymous station that's up to almost 1,000 subscribers now. It's got 943 subscribers, and then I've got my partner YouTube page. Just type in XRP Future Millionaire or check the video description below. And that's got almost 5,300 subscribers now. So that's fantastic. You can also check out my Twitter if you would like. It's at about 500 followers. So what we're looking at here for SHIBA is that 3682 is support resistance at the 30-minute time frame. We've got support at 3448 underneath at 3168. If we decide to come all the way back down and bottom here a second time, that would be 2828. In the near future, we're gonna have a nice pump though with SHIBA. Once we do what we got to do and correct down. So once we do, and we called that way back there that we were gonna come down where we did. It just took a little bit longer, like we said. Well, Tom, why didn't you delete that? Well, because it did exactly what we said. It just took a little bit longer. It came down to the exact section of 2926 or 2828. So I like to keep it up there for a reminder. It's way back there. Who cares? And then slowly but surely we can take out some of these dots as we see them. Just makes it a little harder when you got to go way back here. And I don't want to mess with my setup here just so I can remember for future data. So that's what I'm seeing. This looks like it could be a right shoulder for SHIBA. Probably get rejected up here at the 30-minute time frame and likely would come down. We might have to come back down here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be surprised if you see the ball ticklers. So you got that. And then the only two other ones I wanted to go through was ALGO and IOTA. And the reason I wanted to do that is IOTA had a little bit of a pump. ALGO dumped. IOTA hit its cup and handle. We talked. I don't know if I talked about it on this station, but I know I talked about it on my partnered station. And it really did come pretty close. I'm going to delete this though because it already finished that and started coming back down. So what we had was we had a little cup and handle here. And we said, is it going to hold and bounce its way up, or is it just going to fall back down? So that's what we're in the process of right now. As you can see, we absolutely finished the cup. Are we going to pour it through here is the question. So IOTA right now has resistance at $1.55, support at $1.41. If we hold that $1.41 support, this will continue a bullish narrative. Now, if you look at that, we've got ALGO is on the opposite end. And it's very unusual to see ALGO underneath IOTA. And I understand IOTA had some staking things and yada, yada, yada. So they were giving away some things. But it's still very unusual to see. It's an anomaly of sorts, if you want to say. Right now, we've got resistance at $1.48. So if we can break past this area, we've got another resistance point in the 30-minute time frame at $1.55. Underneath, we've got support at $1.38. So that's what I'd be looking for. I would be looking at this very closely for when this gets to the bottom. If we do double bottom at $1.25, this could be the hot one to take because it's going to have to reverse back ahead of IOTA. So just keep an eye on ALGO. Now let's get into this article. Make sure to hit that like button. Buckle up now. ISO-20022 is set to be a bumpy ride. No longer just a payment issue. ISO-20022 is a chance for banks to fundamentally transform their data, system, and services. Originally published in 2004, interest in ISO-20022 has gained momentum in recent years. SWIFT has chosen to adopt it as a payment standard while phasing out legacy empty messaging, a decision that will ensure the majority of banks are able to send and receive ISO-20022 messages by SWIFT's 2025 deadline. The blah, 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 and sharp growth and innovation in electronic payments has also accelerated the adoption of a standard whose time has finally come. While send and receive is an important goal, it only scratches the surface when it comes to the intersection of payments and other banking systems. Why does this matter? Well, if you only speak ISO-20022 at the payments end, you still need to translate data from all the hundreds of other downstream systems in your bank. Home loan organization, treasury CRM, the list goes on. It's a bit like upgrading one part of the bank to a music streaming service and then expecting it to be compatible with the rest of the business that still listens on CD and cassettes. What a great comparison. It's not a problem. ISO-20022 is a way of life. Historically, banks tend to look at standards such as ISO-20022 as a problem that needs solving. Given all the other pressures and demands on their resources, it's not surprising that many are just going for a short-term fix. But all legacy downstream systems will eventually need to be changed in some shape or form. That's a daunting prospect and reminiscent of GDPR, which forced the industry to fundamentally rethink the way it structured its data. Rather than a one-off project, there is an opportunity to make ISO a catalyst for addressing broader data issues in the organization. Take the need to speed up overall payment mechanisms. Customers today may put up with a week-long wait for international payments to clear, but that isn't sustainable in the long term, especially when you consider the expectations of digital-savvy consumers that have grown accustomed to Amazon Prime next-day customer service, as well as a myriad of other options promising faster settlement and are largely intolerant of digital laggards in any section. Banks that can provide a near real-time service will become hyper-competitive with this audience. But if you are still delayed while your data translates, or you find information that has been truncated, it's going too hard to be that bank. It's going to be hard to be that bank. Interoperable payment system. The ISO 20022 standard also has an important bearing on central bank digital currencies and interoperable payment systems. SWIFT isn't the only payment system in the world. In the UK, for instance, you have CHAPS, the high-value clearing network that is going to migrate across to ISO 20022, and there are other local domestic payment schemes around the world that have adopted the standard. The open door to interoperability without the SWIFT network. As banking becomes more globalized with access to more dynamic payment systems as well as local clearing, banks are far better placed if the entire business can adapt to the ISO 20022 standard. Delve deeper, and there are other opportunities for insights and innovation. Right now, banks typically rely on highly paid data specialists to mine insights and value from data that is held in different formats and requires cleansing and aggregation before it can be analyzed. Imagine what you could do if your team in operations, compliance, and sales had clean, structured data at their fingertips. Putting payment status and data into the hands of people close to specific banking functions gives them the opportunity to extract more value from the balance sheet and improve liquidity movement using spreadsheets and other familiar tools. spotting fraud in real time, as well as speeding up payments and getting more value. There's a significant opportunity to spot fraud and minimize noise with richer, more structured data. This is because it's much easier to spot patterns that indicate financial crime when you don't have to look across multiple systems and data formats all at once. It is true that banks have shied away from faster payments and relied to some extent on complexity to deter fraud, but that's counterproductive in the fast-moving world that we inhabit today. Instead, over legislating payment flows and the speed at which they transmit, banks are better off attacking the problem at the source, which means getting their data in order, focusing on the future. All these opportunities deliver better customer service, reduce fraud, and increase profits naturally require investment, but the potential returns are substantial. Instead of treating ISO-20022 as a one-off fix, it becomes a launchpad for data transformation and innovation across the bank and its partner ecosystem. This will require additional investment and resources, but the returns are potentially enormous. This also impacts the choice of project partner. Their first job will be to ensure basic ISO-20022 compatibility. They should then be capable of extracting insights that help identify downstream systems that need further attention. Next, it's all about building a transformation roadmap that has the potential to bring significant efficiencies and ROI across the business. ISO-20022 isn't a magic bullet for absolutely everything that banks struggle with right now, but it is an opportunity for major competitive advantage and growth if you get it right. So I love that. I love that article. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's something I really enjoyed. So buckle up now. ISO-20022 is set to be a bumpy ride. Make sure to hit that like button. And if you're considering joining, subscribe to the channel. We just hit over 600 subscribers, and it's been my honor and privilege to keep you guys informed on all ISO 20022 related news.